Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And shalom to you sincere, hopeful, elect brothers and sisters listening and learning, and to you brothers preaching and teaching the truth to the four corners of the earth. There's a brother Nathan coming out of the GMS Indianapolis camp. Come back with a quick article. It's from endtimeheadlines.org. It says Trump confirms that the U.S. is now officially engaged in war with Iran. President Donald Trump appeared to confirm U.S. participation in Israel's ongoing military conflict with Iran through a series of posts on Truth Social. And yeah, by the way, too, I was reading that Israel's plan, the state of Israel's plan, is a 2-week campaign, basically, to reach their goals or whatever. But as we do know that Iran isn't going to be destroyed and just taken out the way. All right. Because remember, Russia's going to be a guard unto them, Ezekiel 38 chapter. All right. So we know, these people are saying what they will and what they won't do, just like Trump was saying, hey, well, we're not going to get involved. Well, hey, what did Debo say on Friday? Are you going to get involved? I'm going to knock your ass out. All right, because ultimately, what Yahweh Shemel Shai is in control. Let me get that real quick before I continue on this. Get a couple of scriptures on that. This is Proverbs 21:1. It says, "The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh Shemel Shai. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will." And we know the will of Yahweh Shemel Shai is to fulfill his prophecies. All right, and we know that there's going to be a battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. All right, we know that World War III isn't going to totally break out into nuclear war and go crazy until what? The MOT to the B is made mandatory, and the whole earth and the whole world is tried by it. Rich or poor, free or bond. Revelation 13:16 on down. All right, to get that RFID micro potato chip. Okay. So they have the man. What else? Proverbs 20:24. Man's goings are of Yahweh Shemel Shai. How can a man then understand his own way? See? How can he understand his own way? You can't, because there ain't no free will. We're doing everything according to the will of Yahweh Shemel Shai, whether it be good or be evil. Okay? We all have a script to follow. And we know part of the script, which is his prophecies, all right, that this isn't going to turn nuclear just yet. And Iran isn't going to fall to the hands of the Israelis. All right? They're not going to be able to perform what they think their enterprise is going to be, right? The Lord's got a certain way of how this is going to go. Because ultimately, the true children of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, starting with the elect of the nation of Israel, are going to be delivered in the times they're coming. And here it is. We got Jacob's trouble turning up. We already see the Northern Kingdom getting deported, and these cops are turning up to where they're beating down people, and they're starting to really show that militant side, because the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai is moving through the earth, and he's speeding things up for the elect's sake. All right, so back to the article. And it says, the statements mark a shift from earlier administration claims that the U.S. was not directly involved in the hostilities which escalated following Israel's strike on the Iranian nuclear facilities. In a post, Trump wrote, we know, Slovakia. I had to work night shift, I'm tired of much. We now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. Iran had good sky trackers and other defensive equipment, and plenty of it, but it doesn't compare to American-made, conceived, and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the good old USA. The use of we was later clarified by a White House official to refer to the United States, according to Politico reporter Jake Traylor. The conflict, now in its fifth day, has intensified, with Israel targeting Iran's nuclear infrastructure and military command, while Iran has retaliated with missile strikes on Israeli cities. Trump's post also included a call for Iran's unconditional surrender and a veiled threat against Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, stating, "We know exactly where the so-called Supreme Leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out," in parentheses kill, "at least for now." Initially, the Trump administration distanced itself from Israel's actions, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio emphasizing that Israel acted unilaterally. And see, that's the thing. The U.S. is gonna have to get involved, all right? Because Israel's tied. The nation of Israel is tied. The state of Israel is tied to the U.S., man. All right, and those elite banking families, they're in charge. President Trump is just a puppet. Everybody's got to remember that. And that these American people, they're going to be really upset with Trump when we enter into this World War III. All right, and I can see it, just like how they protested against the Vietnam War, and then certain other battles. So I can see the American people having an uproar because of that, because they're going to what? They're going to start sending you YNs, you young men, to battle, man, to fight for a bullshit war, right, quote unquote. But that's okay, because this is prophecy, all right? This is happening. It says, initially the Trump administration distanced itself, however, as Israel strikes proved successful, Trump publicly endorsed the campaign, praising the use of American-made jets and bombs. This shift has fueled debate within his MAGA base, pitting pro-Israel hawks against isolationist America First advocates who oppose U.S. involvement in foreign wars. Right, see? And that was a big thing on Trump's campaign, is that he's tired of the endless wars and the ending wars, and how the Russia-Ukraine war would have never happened if he was in office, and how he would never prevent any war. But now he's forward in the war, because what? The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh Bashim El Shah, his mind. All right, the Lord is in control of these leaders. Okay? It says, Trump's rhetoric has raised concerns about deeper U.S. military engagement. Reports indicate he has considered deploying American aircraft to refuel Israeli jets and potentially using 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs to target Iran's Fordo nuclear site. Such a move would contrast with his earlier reluctance to support military action while diplomatic talks with Iran were ongoing. The conflict has sparked domestic political reactions. Lawmakers like Reps Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna introduced a resolution asserting Congress' sole authority to declare war, aiming to limit Trump's ability to escalate without approval. Meanwhile, figures like Tucker Carlson have criticized U.S. involvement, warning it could derail Trump's presidency and weaken America's global standing. And that was, at one point, Tucker Carlson was the news guy who was an ally unto Trump, backing him. But now, see, because guess what? The Lord is in control, and remember, America, Babylon the Great is not going to be healed. This place is on its way out, man. Here it is. The average lifespan of a kingdom is 250 years. And I believe next year, July 4th, that'll be the 250. So we're right in that range. And here it is, as Apostle Tar coined this, the year of our salvation, the hopeful year of our salvation and the end of Esau Edom's kingdom. Look how different a day can make. Here it is, the fifth day already within this pivotal Iran and Israeli war. Okay, so it's happening. All right, this thing can really speed up, and Lord willing it does. Because remember, us of the hopeful elect, we're hastening the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. All right, to deliver us and to destroy the adversaries of Yahweh Shai. All right, remember Matthew 10 to 34 says, "Well, I think that I come to send peace on earth, but I came not to send peace but a sword." All right, so hey, as his battles and stuff continue, remember Yahweh Shai is going to come back while the fire's already kindled, while things are already going down. All right, the Lord is going to do even more damage to not only the sinners of His people, but to these heathen nations. All right, it says. Meanwhile, it says, as the situation develops, Trump's national security team is meeting in the White House Situation Room to weigh options, including potential airstrikes on Iranian targets. The president's evolving stance continues to shape the volatile dynamics of the Israel-Iran conflict. Yep. So yeah, it's going down. And this is very, very exciting. Okay. Slocky. Let's get this. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." And what's the vision? The prophecies. So we're seeing the third woe coming to fruition. All right, it's coming together as we speak. All right, like I said earlier, it's not gonna ultimately pop off until what? Until the MOT to the B is made mandatory. Okay, right now, it's not mandatory, but it's voluntarily set up, so voluntarily. All right. So you got early adopters, doing that and using it and promoting it, but ultimately it's not the total shift just yet. But especially with this war happening too, like oil prices are gonna go up. Okay, then it's gonna be more expensive at the pump, and people are already struggling. So and then it's probably gonna cause more inflation in prices. Because the more oil costs, the more fuel it takes to what? Deliver food, rather be airplane, boat, and then trucks, So if fuel goes up, hey, the price is going to go even higher. So you see the domino effect of this, all right? And how these people are going to get frustrated quick because what? The Lord is going to put the spirit on these people to rebel and be upset. The second Ezra 9 verse 1, he answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself." And how we do that? Through the scriptures, through the prophecies that the Lord set up. All right, that's how we know we're at the end. All right, because we're starting to touch on the end time prophecies. All right, especially when it comes to the third woe, World War III. "And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before," right? Because the Lord has let us know, that way what we can get right. We have the understanding, so we can get right with Yahweh Shai to the best of our ability, and then pray to Him. Having His name Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, which means He is or He exists, who the world calls God. Bahashem means in the name, and Yahweh Shai, which means He saves or He delivers, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, man. All right, Yahweh Shai is what we have to call on to be saved, for salvation. It says, verse 2, "Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which He made." And the Lord's visiting. That's why things are moving like this. Well, here it is. We're already over the halfway point of June. That's how fast things are moving. All right. And like I said, we're taking it on because look, this life we're living here is completely bullshit. It's trash. All right, we're in captivity. All right, but we know the world to come, where righteousness dwelleth, that's going to be our true rest. That's why Micah 2 and 10 says, "What? Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest." All right, and they ain't talking about leaving the country. Oh, America's going to get bombed. Let me go ahead and move out to another country. No, it's talking about leaving the ways of this place. Leaving the ways of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All the stuff you learn, you got to be refreshed. You got to be renewed, being born again. All right, and following after the law, statute, commandments, Yahweh Shai. You know, and then our foundation of the faith starts with what? The name, Yahweh Bashem Shai. All right. Verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and that's what we're seeing, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. See? Suck, baby. You know? Verse 5, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Well, that's what we're saying, because what? Because even Yahweh Shai said what this. Matthew 24 and verse 3, it says, I'll start at verse 6, straight to the point. Matthew 24 and 6, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, just like right now. All right. We're hearing the